Hello, and welcome to another Netflix Picks. This time around, I've chosen a slowly building thriller that pays homage to a lot of great 80s action and horror films as well. The Guest. The inspiration for this film spans many generations, with flourishes of both Hitchcock and Carpenter liberally spread throughout. What begins as a love letter to classic thrillers like Night of the Hunter and Shadow of a Doubt eventually builds into something that feels more like Assault on Precinct 13 as the soundtrack reveals itself. And what a soundtrack! If you like the music in movies like Drive, then you definitely need to hear the score for The Guest. Filled with hard-hitting synthesizer beats, this movie definitely deserves to be enjoyed on a nice sound system. It's the kind of score that sounds like it belongs in a cheesy action movie that was only ever released on VHS, and yet here it is in a new movie. Lately, it seems like there has been a bit of a movement in the film industry where filmmakers are producing movies that look and feel nostalgic for that special era in the 80s. Needless to say, The Guest definitely fits that description, as it genuinely feels like a movie that came out of that time period. The story focuses on a veteran who returns home and immediately visits the family of a fellow vet who died during the war. He tells them that he promised he would look in on them and make sure that they were okay, and it genuinely feels like this might be the case. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter if that aspect of his story is genuine or not, because there is clearly something wrong with this guy. Eventually, it's revealed that whatever is going on with this guy, it's a lot more complicated than this small-town family ever could have expected. Suffice it to say that some elements of both the horror and science fiction genre will find their way into this film, and it all works out quite well. Classifying The Guest as a horror, action, thriller, or science fiction alone would betray the fact that it contains each of these elements in ways that define what the film is. Quite honestly, I don't know if there is any one genre that this movie fits into, but I can tell you this: The Guest is going to be a cult classic in no time. If you're looking for a movie with some fantastic synth music, alongside elements of action, science fiction, horror, and even classic thrillers, then do yourself a favor and check out The Guest. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned next week for another Netflix Picks.